Let's take this TYM for a little ride here. Of course, I got to get used to the shuttle. I'll start out in mid-range. Mid-range number 4, I guess. Oh yeah, there we go. Right now I'm using the foot pedal. And here's a look at the shuttle. This is what I was interested in. And all you got to do is flip it forward and back. It's pretty much just about as quick as it is to do it on with just your feet. Okay, so one of so many things I'm considering on the tractor, the difference between the hydro and the shuttle, okay? Right now I have the pedal mashed at 1900 RPM, so if I want to go any faster, I have to keep revving and revving and revving. So the mid-range, which is what 99.629 of everything is done in, has some limitations. So when I'm traveling, you know, everything's a half mile or more just to get to a food plot or a watering hole or a road or whatever. I could just flip on different gears on the shuttle and make better time. Alright, just turned on the main highway. It's only been about 4 or 5 minutes and I'll be there in probably 4 or 5 minutes. Just another thing to consider is service. That's why I did not get a Kubota excavator, because of the bad rap the dealer had down here for very poor service. So, all right, here's a quick look at the two machines. Actually, this one here is the 65, the one I'm going to jump in right now, and this one here is the 105. There's a 74 in the middle, and it's a little larger. It's kind of in between these two. But for the price difference, the 65 and the 74 actually spec out very closely for all of your lifting weights and towing and stuff. So for me, it's to keep a little more compact with basically about the same abilities as the 74 horse. That's why I'm looking at the 67 here. And then the next one here, that's the 55 horse. But I'm going to have R4 tires. So I'm trying to get an idea of how high it's going to sit with the R4s. Hey guys, Kapper here. I am down at Trover's Equipment down in Southern Illinois, and I brought my Kioti to do a side-by-side comparison with these TYM tractors. All right, my Kioti is a 2015 60 horse compact hydro, and the TYM is a obviously brand new utility line. It's I think the smallest of the utility line. It's a 67 horse with a power shuttle transmission. So I'm kind of trying to decide if I want to spend a little more money and upgrade from the Kioti hydro 60 horse to the TYM 67 horse power shuttle because of the things I do. I mean, if you've watched my channel, you know that I do a lot of different types of work. And I am in hill country, I am in clay country, and I am in sometimes bottom country, depending on where you're at, and rock country. So let's check these two out. I brought a tape measure to kind of give us an idea of the differences, and we'll see how it looks. Okay, at the first look, the TYM is a little beefier, stands a little taller, although that could be because of the ag tires. I would order it in R4s. And the sole reason is because R4s are stronger on the sidewalls. If they made an ag tire that was as tough on the sidewalls as an R4, absolutely I would get an ag tire. But that is why I use R4s. So one of the first things that kind of caught my eye was the TYM looked a little beefier in the front axle. So let's take a look at the front axle here. I'll throw a tape measure on it really quick. But comparing the two front axles, it seems pretty grossly obvious this TYM is much beefier. Now keep in mind it's a utility tractor. So the Kioti utilities are also going to be beefier. But this is my personal situation that I'm comparing here. Take a few quick measurements. Here we are at a Kioti. The front axle is about 4 inches. Yeah, that's kind of in the center part. And this monstrous, in the smallest part, it's kind of tapered. The smallest part, it is about 5.5, 5 3/4, and then up at the larger part, it's 6 inches across. So definitely much larger and much beefier. The loaders, they're pretty similar in weights. I think the utility is going to lift more, but here is one interesting thing that the TYM does have. It has a self-leveling loader. And I used to have one on my last John Deere, and I did like it. Once you get used to it, it's a really, really nice function to have. That self-leveling loader. Taking a quick look under the hood, the brush guard and the hood are definitely more stout on the Kioti. It's got 2 shocks on there. It's metal and it's heavier. The TYM, this front grate is not quite as beefy, and the hood, well, I guess it does have dual shocks. It just seems like it wobbled a little bit more, but it could be larger. Matter of fact, it is longer. Probably a foot longer. Up front you have the oil coolers, the trans cooler. Well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 different coolers here. Probably one is the AC condenser. Pretty much the same as the Kioti on the front. Got some pretty nice beef on the frame on the TYM here. Somebody asked me in my last video about maintenance for the TYM. The Kioti we already know is very easy and user-friendly for all fluids. Let's see if I can determine that on the TYM. Okay, the hydro fluid on the TYM, the filter is right here. That's pretty much the exact same as the Kioti. The oil filter on the TYM looks to be a little smaller, but it's in the same location as the Kioti. Now the fuel filter is what I'm interested in. Kioti makes it really easy to access that. There's the oil dipstick and filler hole for the TYM. It's definitely more difficult to access. And I'm still looking for the fuel filter. All right, back over to Kioti here just to show you guys. Here's the fuel filter in the Kioti. Really nice and easy access. And there is the oil filter right below it. Real easy access. The hydro is just like the TYM up under there. I still haven't found the fuel filter on this TYM. Back over to the TYM. Now there's a filler cap right up here and it is buried. See that little yellow thing? I'm not certain what that is up here on top of the engine, because I don't believe it's the oil. But it's definitely, whatever it is, you ain't getting at it too easy. That is for certain. All right, it's really bright and hard to see, but that little black one in there could be the fuel filter. I'm not certain. I don't think that it is. It looks like some kind of an EGR filter. All right, here's a look from the back of the TYM, the hydro fluid filter. There's actually 2 of them. So I suppose that's a good thing. That's one of the specs that I liked, is this had dual hydraulic gear pumps, and the Kioti only had a single hydraulic pump. I gave up on the fuel filter for now, but let's check out the rear end here. I like that dual hydraulics are standard, and one has a detent and one is free flow, just open and close. Very beefy and heavy. Pretty much everything is standard. It's got a heavy duty drawbar though. I really like that. Not only does it come with the one where you could put a hitch on it, but also has this clevis type, which the Kioti does not. You could see the Kioti just has like basically a standard drawbar. And here's the rear end. Oh yeah, definitely the TYM is much beefier here, definitely. The Kioti came with rear hydraulics. They both have detents, which works out good. Here's another option I like on the Kioti, which is standard. It has a PTO lever back here so that whenever you're running, you can raise and lower the PTO. Here's a hydraulic system fillet, which is very easy access. I'm not seeing the same on the TYM. The access looks much more difficult for the fluids. TYM has a what I'm presuming is a rear trailer light setup for pulling larger trailers. The Kioti does not. It's not really intended for that. The lights are built into the fender here on the TYM, and they're up here on the Kioti. Not really a huge deal. Let's get a better overview look from the back here for size. Keep in mind now these tires are going to be R4, so they're going to be much larger. Ground clearance is pretty much hands down to TYM. You don't really have, I mean, you got these two frame bars sticking down, but when you look over at the Kioti, which was kind of always one of my quasi complaints, very low clearance with that frame bar. I mean, I don't even have to measure that to see that it's probably almost twice the clearance. As far as the cab goes, they both have dual cab air filters. All right, let's look at the entrances. The Kioti, I like the Kioti because it has a nice handle here. However, that other one is more spacious, a bigger cab. I wish they'd put a handle on both sides, but there's a handle on the left side for the Kioti and your single footstep to get in. Okay, and I missed this on the TYM the first time. The handle is on the outside as opposed to the inside, so that is really nice. You young bucks will know what I'm talking about here in a few years. So you got the nice handle and a footstep, and looks like maybe kind of a secondary footstep right here, and you are in. Both tractors have a secondary door that opens. They both have a secondary step to get in, and they both have a shock on the door, which on the John Deere did not have that on the 66 horse that I had. I'm going to crawl under there now. The only thing I can't find right now for maintenance is the fuel filter on the TYM. I mean, obviously it has one somewhere, but as far as doing your own maintenance, the Kioti looks much easier than the TYM. So just a quick look at the undercarriage of the TYM. It appears that there is less stuff jutting out than the Kioti. One of my other complaints on the Kioti was just not enough protection underneath. So this one has more ground clearance and less electronic wires and stuff hanging out. And all of these hydraulic wires, I always put skins over them no matter what and tuck them in as tight as I can. But look at the beef on this front axle. The front axle is very important to me with all the work I do, the loader work, the rocks, the uneven ground, definitely. The front axle hub on the TYM appears to be self-sealing. I don't see any grease zerks on this whatsoever. And if you look at the Kioti has a grease zerk on the top. I don't know honestly if that's better or worse. I couldn't tell you. I'm not a mechanic. I don't know. If the other one is truly self-sealed, then you're in good shape. All right, now let's hop in and look at the inside.